Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I'm going to continue from where I stopped on what I've been sharing on Before You Say I Do. I've been talking about things you need to know as a young lady, things you need to consider as a young lady before you accept a proposal. Now, if this is your first time of coming to this channel, my name is Franklin from Couples Talk, and I would like you to consider subscribing if you haven't done so that the next time I post a new video, you'll be the first to receive it. Click on the notification bell as well, because this will help you to receive the notifications from time to time. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share with your friends and families, because what I want to share in this video will go a very long way to help you. So let's get right into it. Before you accept a proposal, there's a lot to consider. And today I'm going to be starting with what I've written down for you. If someone comes to you and say, "Oh, would you marry me?" You've got to consider a few things. And one of the things that you need to look into, you've got to find out if that young man is emotionally stable. See, in the recent past, we've seen cases, we've heard about cases where people get married and only for the lady to discover that this guy has toxic emotions. He's not able to handle his anger. He's not able to, control his emotions. There are many ladies who have passed on like this because the person they got married to has got this hot-temperedness that, nobody can calm him down. Recently I saw a particular news about a man who killed his wife. Why? Because he was suspecting that the wife was having an affair. It was just suspicion, And in the process of trying to have a conversation with the lady, they got into a heated argument, and he was set before now to kill her. And he took out a knife and began to stab the lady consistently. That is an exact example of a man who is not emotionally stable. I know some of you will be like, come on, the lady, why did she go and get involved in extramarital affairs? In the first place, we have no right to judge. Number two, we don't really know the true story here, okay? Whatever may be the case, the man could have walked away. As at the last time I checked, he's still incarcerated. And that is going to go on for years. He did not only waste the life of his wife, he has wasted his own life as well. Think about it. So that guy who is showering you with love right now, that guy who is professing so much love to you right now, have you considered if he's an emotionally stable person? When he gets angry, does that anger lead to a physical abuse? Do you realize that there are ladies today who are being abused again and again physically in their relationships, and they just feel it's normal? You will even hear some young ladies, they say, "Oh, I love guys who do such things because they are able to control me when I'm having excesses." That's nonsense, because you are practically encouraging such things. It shouldn't be that way. If the young man truly loves you, he won't lay his hands on you. Sadly, this is the norm now. Far too many young ladies face this physical abuse again and again, and they just cover it up and feel that they can cope with it. It shouldn't be that way. Any guy who is not emotionally stable, who is not able to control his emotions, such person should be checked very well, because marriage is for your entire life. So you've got to be mindful with that decision. Is that okay? Now, the next thing to consider before you say I do, you also need to consider if he is mentally stable. See, you've got to do your background check. The reason is because if you don't do your own background check, you're just carried away with love, you're taking a very risky step. It's not enough to say, oh, I love him. You need to understand that your life, your future, the life of your children is at stake here. Never forget this. Is he mentally stable? Is he mentally stable? I remember I saw on a particular blog, okay, and in that blog, someone asked a question. The person, this lady is married, but she began to notice certain things about her man. Way into the marriage, she began to notice that whenever they want to have an intimate relationship, the man was always aggressive. It would be as though he wants to rape her. That was just his style. In most cases, he said the man gets abusive. And guess what? That is what gives him joy. That is his idea of romance. And she is practically worried here because she said that there are times when she may not be in the mood, but if the guy wants it, then the guy goes as far as raping her. He uses force. Now, such a person is not completely mentally stable. There is a twist in his mindset, and you've got to be mindful of these things. I know it is difficult to notice most of these things, especially when you are into courtship. But this is one of the reasons, you see, you must walk by the leading of the Holy Spirit. You must walk by the leading of God, not by love. If you walk by love, you are walking by the flesh. So you've got to understand this. Is he mentally stable? When you guys are having a communication, check his contribution. Is he always able to make a proper contribution? Is he always able to make a well-coordinated contribution in that discussion? Is he sensitive to your emotions? Is he sensitive to you? You know, there are guys, I'm not trying to knock guys here. I'm a guy also. I'm not trying to knock guys here, but I'm just saying you've got to be careful because your life is at stake here. And the very moment you say I do is not something that you want to just run out of. It's a lifetime decision. And for that reason, you've got to be careful. That's my point. So think about this. Is he mentally stable? How sensitive he is to your emotional state. How sensitive he is to the way you feel. You know, there are some guys who don't really care how you feel. All they're after is how they feel. And they don't want to know if what they are doing hurts you or not. And this is their idea of a relationship. And also, I need to chip this in. If you're going to be considering or checking out a guy if he's mentally stable, you also must be sure that you are mentally stable, because there are some young ladies out there who are not mentally stable as well. Are you mentally stable? Think about it. Are you mentally stable? Do you care about how others feel? How do you think? How do you process information? Are you able to make a coordinated contribution in a discussion? How far are you willing to go when certain things comes up? The news is filled with several atrocities, and of course you will not blame them. I'm not judging anyone here, But when you take a look at the news sometimes, it brings this caution. I remember recently I saw on the news a young lady who stabbed the husband again and again. They were having an argument. Although I believe that the young lady may have faced a lot of abuse in the past. And so that gave rise to this very action. They were having an argument, and before he knew what was happening, the young lady took this knife, and I'm sure the guy may have started it first, may have abused her. I'm sure the guy may have raised his hand at her, and then she took a knife and just wanted to finish this guy. Stabbed him again and again. And this is not the first case where a young lady went all out to make sure that that man was killed. So you have got to be mentally stable as well. Are you mentally stable? Because it is only a mentally stable girl that will attract a mentally stable guy. Remember, that same guy will be watching out for your mental stability, just the same way you are watching out for his own mental stability. So you've got to think about this. How stable are you? How stable are you? I'm taking my time to ponder on this, to talk about this, because mental and emotional stability is of great importance in marriage. Make no mistakes about it. These things, they play a huge role in your day-to-day activities, because there are a lot of issues that will come up. There are times when you as a lady, you will offend a guy. There are times when the guy will offend you. I mean, let me make this very clear. When it comes to marriage, offense or offenses is something that you will have to live with. Make no mistakes about it. You've got to live with it, because your husband will offend you again and again. Your wife will offend you again and again, or rather, you will offend the guy again and again. But you see, your mental stability, your emotional stability is what will help you not to react the way you ought not to react. And guess what? When your kids start coming also, you need mental stability. You need emotional stability. You need to come to that place where you are sensitive to your family members. So think about it. How stable is that guy? I know you will say, oh, how do you know these things? While it is true that it may not be so easy to detect, trust me, one way or the other, something will come up. Something will come up that will reveal, that will expose this thing. Make no mistakes about it. So emotional stability and mental stability is very, very important. Not just towards you, but also towards people outside. Let's take, for example, you're getting married to this guy and he's not so emotionally stable, or he's not so mentally stable. He could go out there and cause a major problem that would take him away from you, or take him away from you and your children. How will you be able to live with that? You get the point now? So these are some of the things that I really wanted you to think about. I made up my mind I was going to ponder on this, because physical abuse, domestic violence is on the rise today. And the reason this is on the rise is because we are seeing two people who are not able to put or mount guard over their emotions. They are not able to mount guard over their mental state. You've got to think about this. Don't be in a hurry. It's for a lifetime. So don't be in a hurry. You know, there are times there is this pressure. There's this enthusiasm. You just want to get married. You just want to be free. You just want to live with this guy. I get it. I know that feeling. I know how it is. But at the same time, you've got to understand that there is a life after wedding, and that life is the marriage itself. And the marriage itself works based on some of these things that I'm pointing out. So you've got to think about it. All right, that'll be all for today's video. I trust that you've been blessed by it. I trust you've gotten something. Let me know in the comment box. What are those things that you've discovered about that guy who is saying he wants to get married to you? In your heart, do you have questions about the way he behaves towards you? Do you have questions about the way he reacts when you make mistakes? Of course, people can change, but whatever it is you may have noticed, let me know about it. And if you're in need of counseling, I'm going to drop the email address in the description box. Send me an email and we'll talk about it. That's why I'm here. You get the point now? We'll talk about it. Don't be shy. A lot of times I discovered that there are lots of young ladies who are going through some very difficult moments in their relationships and in their courtship also, and they don't know how to share it. They don't know how to speak to someone. I'm giving you an open invitation. You can talk to me. If it's so sensitive, my wife will look into the matter as well to help you a great deal. By the grace of God, over the years, God have used us to restore many marriages. God have used us to stabilize several marriages. So I believe that God will do a lot through us for you. So take advantage of this to bless you a great deal. And if you want to know more about marriage, feel free to get my new book, Marriage Made Easy. Just came out a couple of weeks ago, and I will just leave the link in the description box below. It's a 14 days devotional that will help you to understand a few things about marriage. So that'll be all for now. Make sure you like the video. Let me know how the video has blessed you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Share the video with any single lady that you know out there. You might just save a young lady from a lifetime of abuse. That'll be all for now.